Hello everyone, this is Angel Esquivel here. Welcome back to another video of mine. Today I'm going to do something a little more different than usual. Because if you've seen, I usually do movie reviews. That's what I meant to say. But an old friend has showed up in my life, and that is the Godzilla Minus Zero trailer that I have seen. I'm not going to do a reaction video because obviously if you've seen my old videos that I've done a long time ago, I'm really bad at my reactions. And I've come to a conclusion that reaction videos are just stupid. So I just prefer to review them or give out my opinions and thoughts like after I watch a video or a movie. So that's why I'm here, just to show you just a few images that I have seen, or like just to give out my thoughts and opinions on what I thought of the Godzilla Minus One trailer. And so without further ado, let's get to my thoughts. So the beginning of the teaser, it shows like the aftermath of what Godzilla has done to Japan, like all the buildings left to rot. And if you hear closely to the characters spoken in English, which I found that to be surprising for a Japanese Godzilla movie, they hear that they said something about if their operation fails, then they get to use it. Which I'm supposed to imply that I'm guessing that's supposed to imply that they're trying to weaponize Godzilla, like just in case if Japan does not like kill Godzilla or they fail at it. So I mean, I don't know. I guess that could just be my interpretation of what the line is implying for. Next, we get the American perspective that they're about to nuke Japan again, but they abort third launch just in case if Japan like failed at killing Godzilla, which I thought this part was like very interesting to see. This part of the teaser has made me more hopeful for this movie because for the first time in Godzilla movie history, we're finally getting to see some returning main characters from the original movie, which is rare to see in every Godzilla movie because every time they make a sequel, they're always recasting someone else, and it just kind of completely changes the entire story. Right here, we see our main character on the plane again, like back in war again, where he appears to be flying around midair, surrounded by these broken pieces of buildings with these blue energy. I'm implying this is supposed to be like a different monster, or this could be theory another Godzilla. And these buildings appear to also fall from the sky and also falling in every building and also like on top of people too, which I'm literally wondering how this is gonna turn out in the actual final movie because this looks really scary. The moment we all been waiting for months to see Godzilla and his new design. I mean, it looks the same, but the only difference is that finally he has like spikes on his shoulders. It gave him that extra layer of badass and terror to the look of Godzilla. And the last shot of the teaser, we see Godzilla walking in New York, which is surprising to see for a Japanese Godzilla movie. We see the height difference. Godzilla looks larger than the Statue of Liberty, which I think I've heard somewhere that he was much smaller because he was like 50 meters and the Statue of Liberty is actually much taller than that. And Godzilla, from this angle, or like from this shot, he's grown larger from his last movie counterpart. And it's been a long time to actually see a Japanese Godzilla movie in Japan because the last one I've known is when they done with Final Wars. Like, that's the only one I know. So yeah, after watching that teaser, that made me really hyped to go watch it. If you probably remembered a long time ago, maybe like a year ago, I've actually made a video on like 7 things that I wish to see in Godzilla Minus 2. I mean, I titled it Minus 2 because that's what I thought it was called, but no, it's Minus Zero. Obviously there's a lot that has not made it so far, but there's things that I actually wish for, and that happens to be the returning characters from the last movie, which, thank you, finally they're listening, because I've already explained this in my last videos, if anyone's watched my channel, that I'm tired of every Godzilla movie. Like, when they make sequels, they always keep changing every character, and it's like you grow like an emotional attachment from the first movie, and then the sequel, now the characters are gone, they're replaced with new characters, and I'm like, well, who the hell are these guys, Now it's like, it's kind of hard for me to like get invested with new characters, but with But with Minus Zero, they're finally bringing back our main characters from the last movie, and it's like I think it makes the emotional like attachment even stronger for the audience to actually like care for these characters, and it actually works for a Godzilla movie, which is surprising to say that because we us Godzilla fans, we really don't care about the humans. We just want to see Godzilla in action. But this is the only time we finally see, what? Godzilla deserves to die because he's an asshole. One thing I would say I'm disappointed. I don't like. Then again, I remember in my last video, I did mention that I don't like black bars in for a Godzilla movie. I always wanted to be like in a full screen. But from the teaser, it's obviously black bars. But they have IMAX. It's filmed for IMAX, which I'm very excited to see that. But for IMAX, I'm hoping that it's a full screen. I don't want this, short, scale because in my showing, that's how it was. But they say it's filmed for IMAX, so I'm literally hoping that it's a full screen. Before I end this video, I just want to say Godzilla as a character, has a special place in my heart. Because as a kid, I remember growing up, watching the first Godzilla movie was Godzilla Final Wars. Which, till this day, is actually one of my favorite Godzilla designs and movies. Story-wise, don't care, but I love the action. And that's probably one of my favorite Godzilla designs out of any Godzilla designs from the Showa, Millennia, Monsterverse, and the new one that I don't know what era Japan is in right now or what they call it, but yeah, that's probably one of my favorite designs. And I gotta say, I think the Minus Zero is probably gonna be my second, or no, actually my third favorite. I do like the legendary second better. But either way, but then again, as a kid, I wasn't really an edgelord fan. All I knew was that I like Godzilla because he looks like a dinosaur. I didn't become a full length fan until 2014 when the Godzilla 2014 came out. That's when my memories of Godzilla Final War showed up. I'm like, oh my god, they're making a Godzilla movie in America, because the last Godzilla movie was the last American Godzilla movie from 1998. We all agreed that was ass. But finally, America has got it right. And even do its flaws for Godzilla 2014, taking place, in the dark, it's pitch black, you can barely see. Godzilla barely having screen time. Characters are a bit boring. But that movie is, but the thing is, Gareth Edwards actually understood Godzilla's size and length of the character. Which is sad to say that, with the rest of the MonsterVerse movies, they failed to do that. And that's what Gareth Edwards did right. And another thing that makes Godzilla so special, or mainly Godzilla Minus One, is that Godzilla Minus One is the first movie that in my life I actually saw an IMAX movie for the first time. Because, whenever I go with my dad and my older brother or other family members, mainly my dad and my older brother, it's either between 3D or regular standard showings. That was just the regular for us. But when I heard that Godzilla Minus One was coming to show in America, and it was going to be in IMAX, sadly it wasn't going to be showing near me, so it was a little farther away. I'm like, no, screw it. I'm going to see this movie in IMAX, and I'm going to see it now. So I told my dad, Dad, drive us there, far. Obviously, it was from West Covina. I live in, a little far away from that. And I'm just drive us there. I will be the one paying for the tickets. Very expensive, but it was worth it. And it was, the best experience that I ever have for an IMAX movie, because I never experienced an IMAX movie until I watched Minus One. And it's that movie holds a special place in my heart. Especially for, Godzilla as a character. And Godzilla, also as a kid, when I collected figures, I remember I wanted to be I wanted to be a film director because of Godzilla. That's one of the reasons. And for those who have followed my channel, you guys know that I've actually started my channel because of Godzilla. I named myself Kingzilla 2002, and I remember I tried to make, content related of Godzilla. I mean, for starters, I used to do like these Monster Island buddy like parodies. Like, I mean, that was also one of my inspirations. But through time, like, I just kind of like didn't know what to do with my channel, so I started doing like movie reviews. But then like Godzilla Minus Zero like teaser came along, and I was like, you know, it's been a long time since I did like a Godzilla related content video, and I know like that's the only time I got views because that's what everyone watches. I mean, hell, I literally made the last two videos I made about Godzilla was that me comparing the Minus One to the MonsterVerse movies and 7 things I wish to see in Godzilla Minus Zero. And okay, and I gotta admit, the last video that I made of Godzilla, you know, the one with the I made a rant about the MonsterVerse. You guys are right. I mean, there's some things I did say that was kind of stupid. I feel like I could have said things a little better. There's some things I still strongly agree, but I could have said it better. So to my viewers, like, I know I have like stepped away from Godzilla for a long time, and I've done different things like making movie reviews, like any movie I watch, I'll just review it. But then again, I'm still a Godzilla fan. And now that Godzilla Minus Zero's out, like, I mean, the teaser, not the movie itself. I'm literally hoping that we get more Godzilla content. I'm also wanted to like, I'm also still excited for the MonsterVerse. Not as much as before, but I'm still good. I'm still willing and able to watch the Godzilla versus Kong, X Kong Supernova, which, you know, I'm still excited, you know. I mean, we're going to get to see Space Godzilla, but I'm more excited for Minus Zero because I think this is the only time we finally get to see, like, a well-established story and, like, main characters. So, yeah, I mean, this is a really good time to be a Godzilla fan, especially for me, because I'm at a point where I just kind of, like, gived up on, like, the whole Godzilla fandom, but I'm like, you know, Minus Zero may have just brought that back into my life again. And I'm really excited to see, like, for the future of Godzilla. And, like, yeah, I'm just, it's like, I'm not a really good communicator. I know that. But but then again, I just want to let you all know that I'm very excited for the future of Godzilla. You know, that's all I can say. It's hard for me to describe it too much. I tried Papa John's for the first time, and I'm just going to end it from there. It's really good. Well, that's going to be today's video of mine, so make sure to like, comment, share, subscribe, hit the bell notification icon up there. Make sure to follow me on my Instagram page called Thunderstruck1810. This is Angel Esquivel here, and as always...
Today is fine day in California. Huh? True.